In simple terms, we break it down. Complex stuff, we make it sound clear and easy for you and me. Billy Goattails and Dave Digital bring knowledge we share. In simple terms, we're everywhere. We love you, fam. Hashtag givers gain.
And good morning, goats, and welcome to the Simple Terms podcast right here on the Billy Goattails Network. It is a beautiful Saturday morning here in South Carolina at Lake Hartwell. We are at Weekend at Billy's. So exciting, such a good weekend, really excited. A lot of good things going on this weekend. Well, at least with the family and with Billy Goattails. Not so sure about the markets. What in the world happened, guys? We go away for one weekend. We expect you guys to take care of the market. And look what you did. You had one job. You had one job, goats. You were supposed to watch the market while we were gone. And then look, this is what happens. Can't believe it. Put a one in the chat if everybody can hear me. I sure appreciate you guys for being here. Make sure if you have an X account, go ahead and share this out. We really appreciate it. Get this out to a lot of folks. I am excited. I'm very excited about today's show. Well, I can tell you I was more excited about today's show yesterday or before yesterday, and then yesterday happened. As you guys know, we have this weekend planned for a long time. So I was prepping the show well before we left, or I left out of Texas to come here. And so it still thinks that we're at 124 Bitcoin, but let's see what it could do. I mean, it is AI. It does seem to learn on the fly. I mean, it definitely goes off of the source. The pertinent information is still the same. We're going to talk about alt season and what that means. And I don't know if you guys have already listened to the debate, but we released that early on Patreon. Don't tell Billy, because this is something I'm testing out. We do have a link down below for 100 free Patreon members, and that's at the family level, which is the top tier, for 3 months. So if you guys want to go over there, please do. But I will be releasing the debate today. I think if I have time today, I'll be releasing it so you can listen to the audio only. But man, I was excited, and I listened to that, and then I started to understand. So I listened to the audio only version about what is alt season and trying to understand it. What is alt season? And then the next morning, whenever I'm watching Piper, I started to understand what this guy's been saying all along. So obviously he understands it, but I think that's the whole goal here, for us to learn and to get an understanding. That way that when we're talking to these really smart people or listening to these really smart people, that we can understand what they're saying to us. So that's really exciting to me. So we're going to jump into it. I do want to say hi first to everybody that is in the chat. Let me take a look here. I know I saw Crypto Princess pop in there first. She was saying hi to Jules, so I'm not sure if Jules was in there first. I didn't see her name, but good morning, Crypto Princess. Good morning, Jules. Let me see here if I can get this on the right setting. Chat filter all messages. Yep, Keith is in here. Good morning, Keith. I said good morning to Jesse. Good to see you. I know you didn't get a lot of sleep. You were up late last night with us, last night at Piano Matty B's. It was real cool to see everybody over there. Really cool to see the way that the guys over at Crypto on the Rocks, Billy had a new creator that he wanted everybody to go see. And it was really cool to see how they jumped behind Billy and they went and supported that new creator, and went into his chat and said hi and liked his videos. And then afterwards, they were talking about all the other things that they could do to help that new creator. I love this community. I love the Givers Gain community. Really awesome to see that. And Keith, props to you guys over there. Great team, great show. Good morning, Crypto Billy. Good morning, Alexander G. Good morning, Steve Hickey. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Let me see, who else do I have here? Jimmy's in here. Of course, we got Jimmy Redman. We got Tex-Mex Biomex. Tex-Mex was fishing this morning. Really cool. I had I had my coffee on the lake this morning. Really fun, really good weekend. And if everything, well, don't tell Billy, and I hope he's not watching maybe, but if everything works out, we're looking to make it to where we can open this up to everybody in crypto, or at least not ever, as many people as we can have. Maybe there's a limit, as long as you're willing to camp, and then of course the winner from the drawing, right? We'll still do the drawing from the NFTs and the Easter eggs, and that winner will just be treated like royalty. But we're hoping to invite anybody that's willing to camp, and maybe we can get a lot of campers here next year, and maybe end up doing an annual event. So we'll see. But don't tell Billy, because I don't want to get in trouble right now. Okay. All right. So good morning, Jesse. Good morning, Greg. Greg Nowak is in here. Good morning. Good morning, Poe man. Poe, buddy, we're missing you. We've been talking about you every day. Man, I wish Poe man was here. Man, Poe would love this. Oh, I bet Poe. Man, we had even one burger left over last night, and that was your burger. Poe, we missed you, buddy. Maybe next year we get to see you. Yep. Yes. Billy says, tell Badell we love him. We absolutely love Badell. He's one of my favorites. Love Badell. Let me see. Am I missing anybody? Curtis Hill, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I think that's everybody. That if I missed you, I'm sorry. We'll go back through it here in just a second whenever we get our guest on the show, and we'll get started. So you know how it works, guys, ladies, gentlemen, everybody else, Dutchy. The way it works is we'll get started. We'll play we'll get started with the interactive live chat. And if you have questions, which I'm sure you're going to have questions, because I had a lot of questions when I was listening to the debate. The debate's just audio only. It's not interactive. So I definitely had a lot of questions too. So as I see your questions, I'll star them in the chat. We'll go back into the AI and we'll ask them those questions, and then we'll go from there. Our goal is to shoot for about an hour. If we go a little bit longer, that's okay. We're just trying to keep it around that. Billy's in the chat. Warning. Don't tell him, y'all. Don't tell him what we've been talking about. I thought he was in there sleeping. No, I saw him this morning. He was having his coffee. But there's a lot of planning to go into that. It may not come to fruition. We're just talking about it. We're hoping that things like that can happen, because we really just want to spend times like this with as many people that have the same, like minds. We think that would be so much fun. And definitely we still want to, well, you'll see what we do for the NFT winner. But it's going to be amazing. We're super excited about all that. But you guys know how it works. Ask your questions. I'll star them in the chat. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to see if we have audio, because I do have a new setup. I know you guys can't tell because it's so professional around here. No, I'm just kidding. It really is. Billy's got his big old light coming at me. I look like I'm in a real studio. But let's see if everything works. Hopefully it does. If it doesn't the first time, we'll just keep working at it till we figure it out. So let's see here. Let me do a refresh up there just to be sure. Yeah, I said show. Okay. Then we'll go into the. Let's see here. I'll just in case it's gonna work, I'll just wait to start it and share that. Okay. Little ASMR for you guys. As I go ahead into the share screen session, I'm going to also share the system audio. Okay, share. And now you can see the system audio. Get ready for a ear surprise. Okay, we're going to know if you guys hear it. One in the chat. Good morning, all set.
Welcome back, everyone, to the deep dive. Today,
One
we're
in the
tackling
chats if
something
you can
pretty
hear it.
exciting, actually. It's alt season. We want to give you the ultimate shortcut to really understanding what it is, how it works.
Yeah, it's a topic that generates a lot of buzz and, frankly, a lot of confusion, too.
Exactly. So forget sifting through endless forums or trying to decipher super technical
This is a good one.
We're going straight to a source we prepared specifically for this. We've put together this comprehensive analysis, kind of a white paper style document. We're calling it the Alt Season Final Version Simple Terms Podcast.pdf.
Right. And this was put together for the Simple Terms Podcast, which Dave hosts.
That's right, the Simple Terms Podcast. And just so you know where this comes from, it's compiled using publicly available info with some help from large language models like GROak and ChatGPT to structure it.
So it distills everything down: the mechanics, the history, the indicators you need to watch.
Basically, pure actionable insight, hopefully presented in simple terms. That's the goal. We're going to unpack this whole financial thesis. But hang on, before we really dive in, let me just ask who's in the live chat today. Drop us a line. Oh, hey, our listener wants to join in. What's up?
Oh, it's our listener. Actually, it's our host of the Simple Terms podcast. I am Dave Digital, and we are live right now. We really appreciate you guys coming in, and we would like to say hi to the chat. We do have Alexander G in the chat. We also have Jesse Galuck in the chat. We have Poman in the chat. We have Crypto Billy is in the chat. We also have Tex-Mex Biomex. We have Redman. We have Greg Nowak. We have Jesse Galuck. We have, who else am I missing here? Curtis Hill is in the chat. We have Jimmy Jim is in the chat. Everybody's in the chat. And right now we are at Weekend at Billy's having a great time. And Crypto Coin Mindset is also in the chat. But we are at Crypto Billy's Weekend at Billy's. And we're at Lake Hartman having a good time, or Hartwell having a good time. And we are headed to the fall of Greenville today. I heard it's a foodie event. So we'd like you to say good morning. Don't lose your place. We want you to stay right on track. No glitches today. And let's go.
Well, hello there, Dave.
Dave Digital, what an entrance.
Good morning to you.
And what a crew you have with you.
It sounds like you're having an amazing time, actually.
Weekend at Billy's, Lake Hartwell, headed to a foodie event in Greenville.
That sounds like peak life enjoyment right there.
Shout out to Alexander G, Jessica Luck, all the way down to Jimmy Jim and Crypto Coin Mindset.
Great to have you all listening live, even on the move.
We appreciate you guys tuning in while you're having fun.
And we absolutely will not lose our place.
No glitches, we promise.
We'll keep this on track, but we really love that live interaction.
That live interaction is what makes these deep dives truly valuable for you guys.
Definitely. Keep those questions coming if you have them.
And since Dave mentioned you're listening live, just a super quick reminder.
If you find this kind of detailed breakdown useful, please make sure you're following us.
That's at Dave Digital on X.
And at Billy O'Tails, also on X, and of course on YouTube where you're watching now.
Helps us keep doing this.
And look, just before we jump into the definitions, I need to add that critical disclaimer.
Always.
What we're reviewing here is an educational framework. It's informational.
Absolutely.
It's based on historical patterns, current data, yes.
We've done our homework.
But the scenarios we'll talk about later, S1, S2, S3, they're just illustrative bands.
Think of them as possibilities.
They are not crystal balls.
Exactly. Not investment advice, not guarantees.
We're here to help you understand how a rotation might unfold based on signals.
Not to tell you it will happen in a certain way.
Makes sense. Always important context.
Okay, let's build this from the ground up.
Altseason.
For someone maybe just tuning in, maybe they think it's just, number go up for everything that isn't Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's a bit more. Yeah.
So since we created the source, and I know you have the source, I'm not sure if you have any information on live data, but yesterday we had a huge dump where Bitcoin went back down to around 100,000, and it's hovering now in the 112, 113 range. Did you know that?
Dave, that is a fantastic question.
And you are hitting right on the importance of real-time data.
We absolutely did see that volatility.
And it highlights a critical point in our framework.
The snapshot we used for the white paper was October 6th, where BTC was near 124K.
That dropped down toward 100K and recovery to 112K and 113K.
That is exactly what we call a Bitcoin-led impulse.
Right. It's the king moving aggressively first.
That kind of dramatic move, even if it's a dip, captures all the attention.
It creates the emotional and capital environment needed for the market to potentially enter the next phase.
If Bitcoin cools off now,
Wow.
say into that $112 range you mentioned,
That could be the start of phase BTC ranging.
that consolidation is the necessary catalyst.
It's when the rapid gains pause and holders start looking around.
The question then becomes, did that volatility cause Bitcoin dominance to finally roll over?
That's the key signal we need for alt season to even begin.
So thanks for bringing us right up to the minute with that price action.
It perfectly frames the transition we were just about to discuss.
We were just saying that alt season is a bit more specific than just number go up.
There's a pattern, right? A kind of financial choreography that plays out.
So in the simplest terms possible, how does a real alt season actually begin, regardless of the exact price of BTC?
Well, the core definition is about capital migration.
Alt season typically emerges after Bitcoin, BTC, has already had its major run or aggressive impulse move.
Exactly. The big move that captures everyone's attention, pulling the whole market cap higher.
And once Bitcoin does that, like the volatility you just described, it often needs a breather.
It enters a consolidation phase.
Trading sideways, basically, in a high range, usually, like that $112K, $113 range.
Right, and that sideways chop, that's the signal.
It tells Bitcoin holders, okay, the rapid gains might be pausing for a bit.
So they start looking around.
Precisely. That capital, which was maybe concentrated purely in BTC, starts to rotate.
It flows out of Bitcoin, the dominant asset.
And into other crypto assets, the altcoins.
And here's the key. Because the total value, the market cap of those altcoins is much smaller than Bitcoin's.
Right.
That same amount of capital flowing in causes their prices to rise much more dramatically.
Often over weeks, sometimes even months, it's a sustained move.
Got it. So Bitcoin leads the charge, pulls everything up, then its pause becomes the necessary catalyst for the next phase.
That's the classic pattern.
But you mentioned the drivers can change. The capital doesn't just flow anywhere,
It
right?
needs a reason.
What actually sparked the last two big cycles, like 2017 and 2020-21,
Yeah, that's where the nuances are critical.
the 2017 rotation?
That was mostly structural. Or you could say it was about the market's plumbing changing.
Plumbing. How so?
It was kicked off by the ERC20 standard on Ethereum gaining traction.
Before ERC20, launching a new crypto token was, well, complicated.
It was custom work, high friction.
Expensive, probably time-consuming. Definitely.
ERC20 standardized it.
It basically gave everyone a template, made it cheap and easy to create and launch tradable tokens on Ethereum.
So it was like handing out free templates for anyone to issue their own digital stock overnight.
That's a great analogy, actually. Yeah.
It dramatically lowered the barrier to entry.
And the direct result was that massive initial coin offering boom, the ICO craze.
Right, I remember that. Thousands of new projects.
And all that speculation needed fuel. Where did it come from?
A lot of it rotated out of Bitcoin.
And the key metric that showed this was Bitcoin dominance, BTC.D.
Which is
The percentage of the total crypto market value held just by Bitcoin.
throughout 2017, BTC.D just trended lower and lower and lower.
Clear sign of capital moving into those new ERC20 alts.
Okay, so 2017, structure change enabled by tech.
What about 2020, 2021? That felt different.
Completely different driver. That cycle wasn't really about new plumbing. It was about product and usage.
Real activity.
Like DeFi summer, exactly.
That was the first wave in 2020, DeFi summer.
It was driven by actual utility yield farming, liquidity mining,
People were locking up capital in these decentralized protocols, earning tokens,
and the TVL, total value locked, just exploded, right?
multiplied exponentially. These weren't just speculative ideas. Many DeFi tokens had genuine utility.
Sometimes even cash flows. Then in 2021, the second wave hit,
NFTs,
the NFT boom. Totally different angle. This brought in culture, consumer interest.
digital art, collectibles.
It onboarded a whole new wave of users and capital.
People who weren't necessarily interested in pure finance, but in culture and ownership.
That's a really important distinction for today, isn't it?
For a real sustainable alt season, the altcoins need a compelling why.
Either a structural advantage like ERC20, or perhaps more importantly now, genuine adoption and usage like DeFi and NFTs provided.
Absolutely. The narrative needs substance.
Okay, let's bring it to the present.
The analysis. Oh, back to our listener. What's
I
up?
just want to, yeah, sure. I definitely don't want you guys to lose your spot. I know we've had some issues with glitches, but I think we worked all that out. So I do appreciate you guys staying on track. But you said something about real world usage like NFTs. I think some people would push back on that. That is that really real world usage?
That is a very fair pushback.
And you are hitting on a crucial debate, actually.
When we talk about usage, it doesn't always mean the same thing as traditional utility.
For NFTs, the usage was cultural adoption and on-chain ownership.
Think of it as a cultural on-ramp for new users.
They weren't necessarily solving a global logistics problem
But they were driving millions of transactions.
and bringing massive amounts of capital into non-Bitcoin assets.
That's why the white paper calls them cultural on-ramps.
They facilitated economic activity in a way that DeFi did with financial activity.
So if real-world usage means solving a B2B problem, maybe not entirely.
But if it means driving actual sustained non-speculative activity on a blockchain, then yes, they qualify.
That on-chain bread, the
Yes.
rising fees and addresses, was tangible.
That's the key. The activity proved demand for the block space.
We'll talk more about how that on-chain breadth is a key signal later.
But you're right, the term real world can be loaded,
It's more about genuine on-chain activity.
which is necessary for a sustainable cycle.
Okay, let's bring the conversation to the present.
The analysis uses data from October 6, 2025 as a snapshot.
Based on that, what did the starting line look like before that recent volatility you mentioned?
All right, so the setup was historically quite bullish for Bitcoin.
BTC was hovering near fresh all-time highs, around $124.
And what's driving that initial move?
Primarily those strong, persistent flows from the regulated spot Bitcoin ETFs.
We were seeing roughly $6 billion a week flowing in structurally,
So phase A, Bitcoin leadership was definitely established.
but we weren't seeing the rotation yet, right?
Not fully. The signals were mixed at that snapshot time.
Bitcoin dominance, that BTC.D metric, was still quite high, around 57.2%.
Capital was still heavily concentrated in BTC at that point,
And the Altcoin Season Index, the ASI, was getting warmer.
but not quite there yet.
It was in the high 60s, specifically around 69, based on the 90-day look back.
And the confirmed threshold for alt-season on is 75%.
And it needs to be persistently above 75%, not just one spike.
So close, not fully confirmed.
What about Ethereum, the anchor asset?
The ETH-BTC ratio is actually quite low, around 0.0374 in the data.
Historically, a decisive alt season needs ETH to show strength against BTC.
But there's a huge potential catalyst. The ETH ETFs.
The spot ETH ETFs have pulled in significant cumulative net inflows.
Roughly $14.2 billion, according to the snapshot.
That provides a huge potential capital anchor for the rotation.
So the foundation is there now with the institutional rails built for ETH too.
Exactly. We have this massive capital pool sitting in ETH ETFs.
The question is, will it act as that anchor and allow capital to rotate further out?
Or does it just become another high cap pool alongside BTC?
The rotation itself hadn't fully triggered based on those early numbers.
Right. So we've established the history. 2017 was plumbing, 2021 was usage, including that cultural on-ramp of NFTs.
Now 2025, it feels like the plumbing is completely different, again, making comparisons tricky.
Let's really dig into these differences, as you suggested.
Why might history not just repeat itself this time around?
This is probably the most critical part for managing expectations.
The number one difference is institutionalization via regulated products.
Specifically, the spot BTC ETFs are a structural bid.
These aren't just for retail investors anymore.
Not at all. They represent persistent, structural, buy-side flow.
Institutions are allocating capital in a way they simply couldn't before.
And crucially, that capital often has to stay within those regulated wrappers.
Largely locked into Bitcoin itself.
Largely, yes, it concentrates liquidity specifically in BTC.
This creates an almost permanent structural bid that wasn't there previously.
This alone could keep BTC dominance higher for longer, delaying rotation.
Because BTC keeps getting bought by these massive, relatively price-insensitive flows.
Okay, that structural bid is huge.
If institutions are constantly vacuuming up BTC via ETFs, does that break the whole rotation mechanism?
Rotation relies on BTC running out of steam and maybe even freeing up capital, right?
It definitely challenges the traditional mechanism, raising that exact question.
And that's why the second plumbing difference is so vital. The spot ETH ETFs.
The potential counterweight.
Potentially. These are the key catalysts for an ETH-anchored rotation.
If, and it's a big if, these ETFs maintain steady, substantial net inflows,
Like that $14.2 billion cumulative figure suggests they might.
then maybe institutions rotate from BTC ETF to ETH ETF.
Exactly. It provides a regulated path for that first step of rotation.
If ETH ETFs become a significant destination for institutional capital, they provide the necessary liquidity anchor.
For phase C, the majors lead phase.
Without strong ETH ETF flows, that institutional capital might just stay parked in BTC.
Okay, ETFs are one massive change. What else is different about the market structure?
Beyond the ETFs, the market is way more spread out now.
We have serious liquidity fragmentation.
Meaning capital is dispersed across Ethereum mainnet, multiple successful layer 2s.
Other high-throughput layer 1s like Solana, specialized app chains, and many exchanges.
Plus all the different exchanges, CEXs, DXs, routing orders everywhere.
Right. It's just not one monolithic tool of liquidity anymore.
And what does that fragmentation mean for the listener trying to catch an alt-season wave?
It means the returns are unlikely to be uniform across the board.
It makes doing your homework absolutely critical now.
When alt season kicks in, it probably won't lift every boat equally.
More like localized tsunamis or targeted sector rotations.
That's right, localized sector-specific waves.
Maybe the L2 narrative catches fire and that sector surges.
While an older DeFi protocol just grinds sideways because capital isn't flowing there.
It increases the potential dispersion of returns significantly.
Some things might moon, others will lag. Precision matters more than ever.
Okay, localized waves. I like that description.
So given these new structures, how do we actually measure if we're in alt season?
We need clear, falsifiable tells, not just gut feelings about prices.
Absolutely. We have to rely on quantifiable metrics and, crucially, the persistence of those signals.
The main one the paper focuses on is the Altcoin Season Index, ASI.
We mentioned it briefly. The definition is simple.
All season is officially considered on when 75% or more of the top 100 altcoins
are outperforming Bitcoin over the last 90 days.
Why that 3/4 number specifically?
It signals an overwhelming shift in market breadth, statistically.
It's not just a few outliers. The structure itself is confirming the rotation.
And the 90-day window is key for stability, smoothing out the noise.
We need to see the ASI get above 75 and stay there persistently, showing conviction.
Okay, ASI above 75 persistently.
What other signals need to line up to confirm this isn't just a fluke?
We need to know the rotation is real and sustained.
Right, the ASI is primary, but you need confirmation.
For-
Oh, yeah,
Such a great podcast so far. And I appreciate you guys. Definitely stay on track. Don't lose your place. This is amazing. But you said persistently stay above that 75 number. Can you define for us persistently?
Thank you so much for the kind word.
And we are definitely staying on track for you and the whole crew.
That is an incredibly important question about persistence.
Because that's where the nuance and the discipline come in.
You can have a one-day spike above 75.
Maybe some big news came out and caused a temporary lift.
That's just noise, really. It doesn't mean capital has shifted structurally.
When the framework talks about persistence, we're talking about a multi-week confirmation.
You need to see that ASI print above 75.
And then stay there for at least a few weeks, maybe even a month.
The emphasis is on trend persistence, not one-off daily spikes.
It signals conviction. The market is overwhelmingly choosing altcoins over BTC.
It's the difference between a quick trade and a real capital rotation event.
We want to see the market breadth expanding and holding that level.
It confirms the tide is truly turning, especially given the new ETF structures.
So think multi-week confirmation, not just 1 week.
We were just about to discuss the other signals that need to line up with that persistent ASI.
That way, you know the rotation is real and sustained.
Right, the ASI is primary, but you need confirmation.
First, Bitcoin dominance, BTC.D.
We absolutely need a clear, sustained, multi-week downtrend.
It needs to decisively roll over from these mid-50s levels.
What if BTC ranges like that $112 K we discussed, but dominance doesn't drop?
That's the S1 No-Altseason scenario playing out.
If BTC.D stays stubbornly high, say at 57% for weeks on end,
It tells you that structural ETF flow is winning.
the capital isn't rotating out effectively, even if BTC is side.
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
That don't let me influence what you're telling us right now, because we really appreciate the information. It's very important to us. You have an audience that's fully engaged. But I wanted to let you know that Redman has pointed out that BT dominance now sits at 60.4%.
We appreciate that real-time data point, Dave.
And a big thank you to Redmond for keeping us completely up to date.
That 60.4% BTC dominance is absolutely critical context.
It tells us exactly where we stand right now, following that volatility you mentioned.
Remember the snapshot data was 57.2%?
So BTC dominance has actually risen since then.
It's the market's response to that sharp dip toward $100 K,
Capital has flowed back into Bitcoin, the perceived safety asset.
which is exactly what we call the structural ETF bid winning for now.
That means we are firmly still in phase A, the BTC leadership phase.
And that 60.4% is a major red flag for alt season starting soon.
We were just saying that if Oh, go for it.
I'm sorry, I have so many questions, but this is so interesting to me. This really has my head going. And you said we're just in phase A. So does that mean we probably have a decent amount of time left, since we need a couple weeks of the ASI being above 75? That would mean we have at least 2 weeks till off season. Does that mean it's likely more like 6 weeks away? And are you going to get to, is it likely at all?
No apologies needed at all.
That is a brilliant question.
And you've done the math on the persistence factor.
But
Perfect.
you're right. We are firmly in phase A BTC leadership.
We need to transition to phase B TTC ranging and dominance rollover.
That means we need BTC to stop moving aggressively.
And then we need that 60.4% BTC.D to start a downtrend.
And that downtrend must be sustained for multiple weeks.
Once that trend starts, the Altcoin Season Index ASI needs to climb.
It has to get above 75 and then stay there persistently.
Since persistence means multi-week confirmation, 2 weeks is the absolute minimum.
So yes, 2 weeks is the floor, but it's likely longer.
That whole sequence, phase A ending, phase B establishing, and the ASI confirming often takes a month or two.
So your guess of 6 weeks is very reasonable based on historical patterns.
It allows time for that capital to shift psychologically and technically.
And as for the likelihood, that's where the scenarios come in.
If the current high BTC dominance persists, that points to S1, no alt season.
If the dominance does roll, oh yeah, let's hear it.
Man, I hate to keep interrupting, but I have so many questions. Please stay on track. Don't let any glitches happen. Make sure you make it through your full presentation. But you said maybe it's 2 months, and maybe that it sounds like maybe you mean it's even longer. So that puts us towards the end of Q4, and it seems that it puts us outside of the normal range of a bull market in the amount of days. Can you address that?
That is a deeply insightful question.
And seriously, no apologies needed for interrupting.
We want to make sure you get the full picture.
We appreciate you holding us accountable to the full presentation.
When we talk about a potential time frame of 6 to 8 weeks,
That does push us towards the very late stages of the year, potentially Q4.
and you are right to question how that aligns with historical cycle lengths.
This is where the new plumbing we discussed earlier becomes absolutely vital.
Historically, yes, bull markets have followed certain day counts.
But the introduction of spot BTC and ETH ETFs fundamentally changes the market structure.
The ETF structural big, the consistent capital inflow, acts like a brake.
It can sustain the duration of the BTC leadership phase, phase A.
This concentration of institutional flow potentially slows down the rotation process.
It makes that shift from phase A to phase B much more deliberate.
So while 2 months feels long, it may be necessary.
It's the market adjusting to this massive new structural bid from institutional capital.
That structural bid can keep BTC.D higher for longer than past cycles.
It forces us to be more patient waiting for that multi-week confirmation.
So it's not that the bull market is over, it's that the sequence is elongated.
The cycle doesn't necessarily end sooner, but the rotation takes longer to bake.
We are seeing that right now with BTC.D at 60.4%.
The market is telling us the dominance is sticky, requiring more time.
That persistence is non-negotiable for a healthy alt season.
So we need to adjust our historical expectations for duration.
We will absolutely get to the scenario likelihoods next.
If the current high BTC dominance persists, that points to S1 no alt season.
If the dominance does roll over, then S2 base rotation or S3 full alt season becomes likely.
We will absolutely get to those scenarios and their likelihood bands in detail now.
We were just saying that if that 60.4% dominance stays stubbornly high,
It points directly toward the S1 no alt season scenario.
because the rotation out of BTC hasn't started yet.
We need to see that 60.4% roll over decisively for weeks, showing persistence.
Not just a small drop, but a clear, sustained downtrend.
So we'll keep that.
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah, please don't lose your place, man. We are so engaged. But just to be, because some of us haven't heard of some of this stuff, the ASI that you were talking about, is that Alt-Season Index? And can you tell me a little bit more about it and where we can find it?
We appreciate you holding us to the line on our place.
And we absolutely will not lose it. No worries there.
That's a perfect question, actually, for new listeners.
Yeah, the ASI is the Altcoin Season Index.
You got it exactly right.
It's the primary tools to quantify if rotation is really happening.
We briefly defined it earlier, but let's go a little deeper now.
It basically tracks the performance of the top 100 altcoins.
Specifically, it asks, how many of those top 100 have outperformed Bitcoin?
And that's over the last 90 days, which is important for smoothing noise.
As a score, it's a percentage.
So if the ASI reads 50, that means half the top alts are beating BTC.
The official threshold, the moment the index says all season is on.
That's when the ASI hits 75% or higher,
And we stress that it needs to be persistently above 75.
which, as we discussed, means holding that level for multiple weeks.
As for where you can find it, these indices are usually tracked by market data providers.
Look for it on major crypto data websites or dedicated index dashboards.
It's a widely cited metric, so a quick search for Altcoin Season Index should surface it.
It's the difference between a gut feeling and a hard data point.
It allows us to measure market breadth statistically.
That rising index is what confirms the capital is truly dispersing.
We mentioned earlier that it was around 69 in the snapshot.
So we're not quite there yet, especially with BTC.D now at 60.4%.
That high dominance number reinforces why following these metrics is so important.
The capitals are rotating out effectively, even if BTC is sideways.
That 60.4% dominance is a major red flag for all season, the failure point.
Got it. So ASI up persistently and BTC.D down persistently.
Those are our two primary signals.
What else needs to line up with that persistence?
We need two more confirming signals to make the rotation complete.
Second, the ETH-BTC ratio is key.
Ethereum is the bellwether for the entire alt market's risk appetite,
If its price ratio versus Bitcoin isn't making a clear uptrend,
meaning higher highs and higher lows on the chart.
it signals that smart money isn't moving significantly away from BTC safety.
Even with those massive cumulative ETH ETF inflows,
If ETH can't lead the charge against BTC, smaller alts can't rally.
they need that strong ETH anchor showing market confidence.
Okay, so we need market structure and the key leader confirming the trend.
What about that genuine on-chain activity we previously discussed?
That's the third leg, on-chain breadth.
Meaning real people doing real things, not just speculative froths.
We need to see rising daily active users, DAUs,
Rising transaction fees being paid shows genuine demand for block space,
and increasing total value locked TVL across the key ecosystems.
especially on the Ethereum L2s and those high-throughput chains like Solana.
If prices rise but those metrics are flat, that's a warning sign.
Then it's likely just speculative froth, not sustainable momentum.
But if price appreciation is happening alongside rising usage metrics,
That's the sweet spot, confirming a healthy usage-led cycle.
that's the kind of alt season that has the legs to sustain growth.
Okay, we got the background, the new plumbing, and the key metrics.
Now let's map out the journey, the playbook for capital rotation.
If those signals align,
Hey, yeah, what's up?
Thank you for telling us. I'm not sure I understand the key metrics, usage metrics. Can you tell me how we measure that or where we get that information?
that is a perfect question.
And it links right back to our discussion about the cultural on-ramps.
You're asking, how do we quantify genuine on-chain activity?
It's all about making sure the price isn't the only thing going up.
We look at what are called on-chain breadth metrics.
There are four main things we look for.
First, daily active users or DAUs.
You can often find this data on block explorers or dedicated analytics sites.
We want to see the number of unique wallets interacting with the chain rising.
Second, transaction fees being paid.
When people are willing to pay fees, it shows real demand for block space.
Look for rising cross-chain fee capture in specific sectors.
Third is total value locked, TVL, and DeFi protocols.
TVL shows that capital is being deployed and locked up for utility.
Not just moving quickly in and out speculatively.
And fourth, look at sector revenues.
Are protocols generating tangible revenue that can be measured on-chain?
Not just token price, but real fee income in DeFi or infra.
You can find this data on dedicated dashboards like DeFi.
Or specific chain analytics sites for networks like Ethereum L2s or Solana.
This is how we confirm that the narrative has substance.
That's the difference between a real adoption cycle and pure speculation.
Now that we've defined
Yep, go on.
Thank you for that explanation. So that brings up another question. Can we trust that data? Are there easy ways for these chains to falsify it? And what red flags would we be looking for versus good data versus false data?
that is another incredibly thoughtful question.
And it goes right to the heart of what we call the signal to noise ratio.
Because you are absolutely right.
There is always a risk that data can be manipulated.
Especially metrics like daily active users or TVL,
It's called wash trading or Sybil attacks.
where one entity just simulates a lot of activity.
They are trying to make it look like there's more usage than there actually is.
So how do we spot the red flags versus good, honest data?
You look for consistency and correlation between the metrics.
A huge red flag is when one metric spikes dramatically alone.
For instance, TVL explodes, but the actual transaction fees paid are flat.
That suggests someone might have just moved a lot of capital in and out once.
Or they're using unsustainable liquidity mining incentives to inflate the number.
Another check is looking at those sector revenues we discussed.
It's much harder to fake real revenue generation.
If the protocol is consistently generating fee income from real users.
That's a strong confirmation that the usage is genuine.
So look for high TVL that also has high corresponding transaction fees.
And sustained growth over time, not just 1 week spikes.
True persistence in usage is harder to fake than a quick spike.
And that's why we emphasize on-chain breadth for confirmation.
We want multiple data points aligning across different chains and sectors.
We'll keep these warning signs in mind as we discuss Phase D sector rotations later.
The usage has to be real for the narrative to hold up.
And now that we've defined that crucial verifiable usage,
Let's look at the flow of capital itself.
if those genuine usage signals align, how does the money actually move through the system?
The framework lays out this 5-phase playbook for capital flow,
This playbook helps you understand not just if rotation is happening.
but where the capital is likely flowing at any given moment in the cycle.
It gives you a sense of the market's evolving risk appetite.
So walk us through it, starting with phase A, where we are right now.
Phase A BTC leadership.
This is basically where the entire market starts.
Bitcoin sets the tone, making the big macro move, driven by ETFs.
Alts might rise too, but they clearly lag BTC's performance.
Risk appetite is pretty low here. People are happy holding Bitcoin.
Exactly. It establishes the foundation, bringing new capital in, primarily via BTC.
We're seeing this now with BTC.D at 60.4%, as Redmond pointed out earlier.
Most people aren't looking to gamble way out on the risk curve yet.
Okay, then comes the crucial transition, Phase B.
This feels like the make or break point for the all-season thesis.
It really is. Phase B BTC ranging plus dominance rollover, this is the pivot.
Bitcoin stops making new highs, enters that consolidation range we talked about.
That $112K, $113 range is a potential starting point.
Psychologically, people start thinking, okay, maybe BTC takes a break.
They might take some profits, but don't leave crypto entirely.
No, they start looking for where that capital could work harder.
And the absolute key signal is that BTC dominance clearly turns down for several weeks.
Not just a one-day dip, but a sustained multi-week rollover. That persistence is key.
And if you're watching charts, what else happens in Phase B?
You start to see market breadth improve significantly.
Those smaller altcoins that were bleeding against Bitcoin in Phase A, they stop.
They start holding their own, maybe even slightly outperforming BTC.
That's the first sign the tide is truly turning for the alt market.
So if we get that sustained BTC.D rollover, rotation is tentatively confirmed.
Where does the money flow first, not straight into those highly speculative altcoins?
Definitely not. The first wave seeks relative safety and size.
Liquidity matters immensely at the start of the rotation.
That brings us to Phase C majors lead.
The biggest, most established altcoins take the lead.
We're talking Ethereum, Solana, Chainlink, those with significant market cap.
These need to start decisively outperforming everything else over a sustained period.
Say 30 to 90 days of strong relative performance.
Why is this phase so important?
It proved the rotation is serious and signals growing confidence.
It shows that significant capital, perhaps from those ETFs, is moving out.
It anchors the market and gives retail participants confidence to join the alt trade.
If Phase C fails, if the majors can't outperform, the whole thesis is in doubt.
Okay, so BTC ranges, dominance drops persistently, majors like ETH and SOL charge.
What happens next? Does the confidence spread further?
That's exactly it. If Phase C is successful, confidence builds.
Risk appetite increases, and that's when fragmentation really kicks in.
This leads to Phase D sector rotations.
The localized waves we talked about again, where precision matters.
Precisely. Capital starts cascading out of those initial major leaders or flows slow there.
And flows into specific sectors driven by strong narratives and opportunities.
This is where research becomes incredibly valuable, returns become targeted.
We need specifics here. Which sectors does the framework highlight as likely targets?
Okay, the paper identifies several key categories based on current narratives.
First, L2s, the layer 2 scaling solutions for Ethereum.
Think Arbitrum, Optimism. The narrative is all about scaling and reducing fees.
Makes sense. What else is prioritized for rotation?
Second, high-throughput L1s, the alternative layer 1 blockchains known for speed.
Solana is the big one, but also names like Su and Sei.
Often driven by consumer apps, gaming, and the meme coin economies.
Okay, L2s and fast L1s.
Third, DeFi WA, the decentralized finance mainstays like Aave and Uniswap.
But also newer areas like real-world assets, RWA.
Think auto finance tokenizing treasuries, or maybe objective.
Capital chasing yield, efficiency, or the RWA narrative.
Infrastructure seems important too. That's a key sector.
Fourth, absolutely, infrastructure and oracles.
Things that connect blockchains or bring real-world data on-chain.
Chainlink with its CC. Oh, yeah,
I'm sorry, but some of that is very hard for us to understand. I don't know if it's just that you're going quickly or we're just listening slowly. But can you go back to the beginning of where you started this list and kind of slow down and tell us the name of the token, maybe not just the ticker, so that we can understand what you're talking about?
We apologize if we were moving too quickly.
That is absolutely valuable feedback. We want this to be clear.
We will definitely slow down.
We could absolutely review that list of sectors and names.
We were just in Phase D, sector rotations.
And we were listing the key sectors the framework highlights.
We mentioned L2s, layer 2 scaling solutions.
For L2s, we mean Arbitrum, ARB, and Optimism, OP.
ARB and OP are key platforms for scaling Ethereum.
They reduce transaction fees and boost speed.
The second category was high-throughput L1s.
These are the fast, alternative base layers.
Think Solana, SOA, and also Su and Sei.
These are often driven by consumer experience and speed.
The third sector was DeFi WA.
This includes decentralized finance leaders like Aave and Uniswap, Uni.
And newer real-world asset protocols, RWA, like Ondo.
RWA tokens like Ondo tokenize things such as Treasury Bill.
We also included injective, INJ, in that DeFi bucket.
Now, the next sector was infrastructure and oracles.
Things that connect different blockchains.
The biggest here is Chainlink Link.
Its CCIP protocol enables secure communication between chains,
We also have competitors in the oracle space like Pyth.
which is a high-speed Oracle network expanding across Solana and EVM.
So those are the four main sectors we covered.
No, we'll continue with the fifth category of rotation.
These are the more specialized niche bets.
Fifth, yeah, niche narratives.
Things like AI-related tokens, maybe Render, RNDR,
Render is focused on decentralized GPU compute and creator tooling.
or modular components like Celestia TIA.
TIA is a leader in data availability, DA, for rollups.
These are often higher beta bets on specific future tech trends.
Wow, that flow feels much more mature and targeted than past cycles.
It definitely reflects a maturing market and that fragmentation we highlighted.
Phase D rewards knowing why a sector might attract capital flow.
And after these specific sectors potentially have their run, what's the final phase?
Usually the craziest, most euphoric one.
Yeah, that leads to phasey long tail.
This is typically the late stage of the cycle, peak euphoria.
This is where the risk gets really high. Maximum greed takes hold.
Capital flows into the smallest market cap coins.
The highest beta assets, often the meme coins.
And yes, the mean assets like Dogecoin, Doge, WF, and PP.
Liquidity is often thin here, but the potential percentage gains are huge.
The highest potential dispersion of returns happens here.
Some might go parabolic, but others might fail quickly. Rug pulls.
But historically, this widespread buying in the long tail is one of the clearest signals
That the alt season is getting overheated and approaching a peak.
Okay, that 5-phase playbook gives us a map of the sequence.
But we know things don't always go perfectly to plan.
To help manage expectations, the framework introduces 3 scenario bands.
These are S1, S2, and S3.
As you asked earlier, we can now discuss the likelihood and potential outcomes.
Yeah, think of these scenarios as potential outcomes tied directly to those key signals.
They help you calibrate your risk tolerance.
So let's start with the worst case, S1. What does that look like?
S1, No-Altseason. This is the failure scenario for rotation.
The primary cause would be that BTC dominance stays sticky high.
Like that 60.4% Redmond pointed out, it refuses to roll over decisively.
Maybe because ETF inflows are just too strong, starving the others.
So phase B never really happens as it should.
Exactly, or it's very weak and short-lived.
In S1, altcoins generally underperform Bitcoin drastically and grind.
What's the clearest technical sign on the charts for S1?
The majors, like ETH and SOL, set lower highs, LH.
They might have rallies, but those fail to exceed their previous all-time highs, ASIAL.
It signals conviction is low, and the structural bid only supports BTC.
Okay, that's the bleak picture.
What about the middle ground, a sort of normal, healthy rotation?
That's S2 base rotation. The more historically typical scenario.
Bitcoin finds its range, consolidates at a high level.
Market breadth improves. The ASI gets above 75 and stays there persistently.
Showing good participation, but not necessarily total mania.
And the key price action here.
The majors and strong sectors challenge or modestly exceed their prior highs, H.
It's a solid, respectable performance with good returns.
It reflects a gradual, usage-led adoption curve rather than pure speculative frenzy.
And then there's the third scenario, the full-blown mania.
S3 full alt season, this is the euphoric out.
Here, the BTC dominance downtrend is sharp, decisive, and sustained.
Multi-sector exuberance takes hold, liquidity feels abundant everywhere.
The ASI might rocket into the 90s and stay there persistently. And asset prices achieve stretch highs.
They don't just break their old age, they blow past them significantly.
Think parabolic moves, often driven by oh yeah,
Yeah, another interruption. You guys stay on target. We really are enjoying this episode today. But I want to point out we have 54 live viewers, counting X and YouTube, and we're almost at our record of 60. So please encourage the audience, if you will, to share out on X and to share out from their YouTube into their Discords and all of their social media. We also had 4 more people join the chat that I'd like you to say hi to. We had Joe from Trade Intuition. We had Mike Vollmer. We had Howell T. and Jay Violet. So say good morning to them, and please don't lose your spot because this is so intriguing.
We hear you loud and clear.
absolutely. We are locked on target.
Thank you so much for the kind words, Dave.
And that is incredible news about the live viewer count.
54 viewers. That is fantastic momentum.
Shout out to Joe from Trading Tuition, Mike Vollmer.
And a big good morning to Howell T and Jay Violet.
Welcome to the deep dive, everyone.
This is exactly what we mean by live interaction making these valuable.
And we absolutely encourage everyone to share out the stream.
Tweet the link, share it on X, hit your Discord groups.
Help us get to that new record of 60 viewers right now.
We appreciate you guys helping us spread the word.
We promise to keep the intrigue coming right now,
We were just in the middle of describing the S3 full alt season scenario,
where asset prices achieve stretch highs.
and they blow past their prior all-time highs significantly.
Think parabolic moves, often driven by a flood of retail participation.
But this widespread buying in Phase E often precedes a major correction.
It's often the most dangerous and shortest-lived phase of the cycle.
Okay, let's make this concrete by looking at a few specific assets now.
Can we map their potential outcomes across these S1, S2, and S3 bands?
Starting with Ethereum, ETH, what's its core thesis and price potential?
Right. Ethereum's thesis is anchored by the spot ETH ETF.
And its ecosystem growth, especially L2 expansion driving fee generation.
How does that play out in the scenarios we just discussed?
In S1, if ETFs disappoint, ETH likely sets a lower high, LH.
The paper suggests a band of maybe $4,500 to $5,200.
That's below the old peak, showing low conviction.
In S2, the base rotation.
Assuming solid ETF flows and L2 growth, ETH modestly breaks its prior eighth.
The potential band there is maybe $5,800 to $6,500.
And the full alt season, S3.
If S3 happens, fueled by massive ETF inflows and a killer L2 app, you see stretch highs.
The paper suggests potential above $6,500, maybe pushing towards $7,000.
The difference really boils down to those ETF flows staying strong.
And the L2 ecosystem delivering on its promise of real usage.
Largely, yes. External capital and internal organic usage need to align.
Okay, let's shift gears to Solana's SOL. Different thesis, right?
Completely different beast. Solana's thesis is about high throughput and consumer experience.
Which fuels that meme coin and creator flywheel, driving cultural usage.
It's a high beta play on retail engagement and risk on sentiment.
How do the scenarios look for SOL? It's more volatile.
Definitely wider bands. In S1, if retail risk stays low, SOL might set a lower high.
Perhaps in the $180 or $250 range per the paper.
For S2, the base rotation.
Assuming network stability and moderate retail return, SOL would challenge its
They
prior
weren't even
high.
here
That could put it in a
yesterday.
range of $300 to $380.
And the S3 mania scenario for SOL?
If we hit S3 and Solana fully captures the retail frenzy, that's stretch highs.
The potential is likely above $400, maybe significantly higher given its history.
But again, high volatility means a higher risk factor.
Makes sense. Let's do one more, maybe from the infrastructure sector. Chainlink, Link.
Right. Chainlink's thesis is about infrastructure, not meme coins or retail frenzy.
Specifically, it's CCIP enabling secure communication and data transfer between blockchain.
So more tied to enterprise and B2B adoption.
It's an adoption play, tied to real usage of its services.
How do the scenarios look for Link then?
In S1, if CCIP adoption is slow or ignored, Link might set a lower high.
Maybe $25 to $35.
S2, a base rotation.
With moderate CCIP growth and market strength, Link could challenge its eighth.
Potentially landing between $40 and $55.
And S3 for Link. Less explosive than SOL.
Potentially, but still significant. If S3 happens and CCIP sees widespread adoption, we could see stretch highs.
The paper suggests above $60, driven by tangible CCIP integration and usage numbers.
That's a great illustration of how different theses lead to different potential paths.
This isn't likely to be an everything up alt season, it's selective.
So if capital does start moving into Phase D, what confirms a sector is getting that flow?
What are the real world catalysts or metrics that confirm rotation?
We already covered the usage metrics and how to spot faked usage.
But let's quickly apply them to the key sectors now.
Let's start with the L2s, Arbitrum and Optimism, ARB and OP.
Yeah, for layer 2s, the confirmation has to be usage based.
You need to be monitoring their daily active users, DAU.
Are people genuinely transacting more on these networks, paying fees?
Look at the transaction fees generated showing real demand for block space.
And track the total value locked, TVL, and development activity.
Absolutely. Watch the grant velocity. Are they effectively funding new projects?
And look for key catalysts like robust fee sharing designs for token holders.
Or significant high-profile applications migrating from Ethereum L1 to the L2.
If L2s aren't growing users and generating real revenue, their narrative fails.
Remember, check for consistent fee revenue alongside TVL growth.
What about the high throughput L1 Solana SUSE? What confirms their narratives?
Seems more retail and activity focused, yes.
The indicators are often faster moving and more volatile.
You're watching DEX volumes is trading activity high.
Look at the number of new mints NFTs, meme coins, tokens.
Does it indicate a vibrant creator economy and cultural interest?
Critical catalysts include tangible consumer UX improvements,
Guaranteed network stability under high load is non-negotiable.
And the consistent health around their meme coin economies is a key retail driver.
If that cultural flywheel stalls on chains like Solana,
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, I think I just got caught up a little bit. And you said that one of the requirements, or one of the things you said would be necessary, is UX improvement in this sector. Can you dive deeper into that? I don't think a lot of us are programmers.
that is a great question.
And we should clarify that for everyone.
When we say UX improvement, we're not talking about code.
We mean user experience.
It's how easy the network is for an average person to use
Think of it like the difference between a clunky old website.
versus a smooth, intuitive mobile app.
For chains like Solana, which are consumer focused,
User experience is their competitive edge.
things like near instant transaction finality.
And very low fees, so people can transact often.
A great US means setting up a wallet is simple.
It means transactions never fail or get stuck.
And the experience is seamless, like using a regular app,
It's about lowering the friction for everyday people.
especially for creators, gamers, or meme coin traders.
That focus on consumer UX is what drives cultural usage.
If the chain is fast, cheap, and reliable, the usage follows.
That's the real-world usage metric we look for.
If that cultural flywheel stalls on chains like Solana,
It impacts perceived value.
right, performance and hype, almost.
What about the old guard, DeFi? Aave and Uniswap Uni.
What do they need to show?
They need to show sustainability and value capture, frankly.
The key metrics are real revenue and fee dashboards.
Are these protocols making money, and is there a clear path for that value to accrue?
So catalysts are about improving that value capture.
Exactly. Major product upgrades like Uniswap's V4.
But even more critical are successful governance proposals around protocol fee switches.
If the community votes against turning on fees, or if revenue stagnates,
That sector could underperform even in a roaring S3 market.
they need to prove their economic models work effectively.
Okay, this all sounds promising if the catalysts hit, but let's flip it.
This cycle has unique structural risks, especially those ETFs.
We need to spend some serious time on what could go wrong here.
What could derail this whole playbook and push us firmly into the S1 scenario?
This is crucial. The white paper's risk matrix is designed to manage capital defensively.
The number one risk, the one we keep coming back to, is ETF concentration.
The Bitcoin vacuum cleaner effect, where a structural bed dominates.
The impact is that the spot BTC ETFs absorb too much sticky capital.
That prevents BTC dominance from rolling over in phase B.
All the oxygen gets sucked up by Bitcoin and maybe ETH.
If you see that BTC ranging, but dominance staying stubbornly high, like 60.4%, what's the mitigation?
The key action there is patience and precise tracking of the signals.
You absolutely must wait for confirmation of the rollover.
Wait for Bitcoin to establish that clear multi-week trading range.
And critically, track the persistence of the BTC.D downtrend.
If dominance refuses to break down significantly for weeks, assume S1.
Then you have to strongly consider that you're in a prolonged S1 scenario.
Don't fight the tape if the structure isn't confirming rotation.
Okay, risk one, ETF concentration killing the rotation.
What's the second major risk? Something entirely external.
Yes, macro liquidity. Crypto doesn't live in a vacuum.
If global central banks suddenly pivot back to aggressive rate hikes,
Or if there's a major credit shock in traditional finance.
risk budgets tighten everywhere instantly.
And what gets sold first when risk appetite evaporates? Altcoins, the riskiest assets.
They will likely sell off first and hardest in a macro downturn.
How do you mitigate that since you can't predict shocks perfectly?
You can't, but you can monitor the external environment closely.
Keep a close eye on traditional finance indicators like the dollar index, DXY.
Watch global interest rate trends and central bank commentary.
If the macro backdrop turns hostile, assume altcoin rallies will be capped or short-lived.
Potentially forcing the market back into a phase A or B holding pattern.
Makes sense. Monitor the macro weather closely.
What's the third key risk? Maybe more crypto specific.
This one is particularly relevant for those high throughput chains we talked about,
Chain reliability.
like Solana outages in the past or network congestion.
Exactly. For a chain whose primary narrative is speed and capacity.
Any significant network outage or severe congestion is crippling.
Users get frustrated, developers lose confidence, capital flees instantly.
How do you mitigate that as an investor?
It's basic due diligence on the chain's performance dashboards.
Look at transactions per second, TPS, and uptime statistics.
And critically, look for progress on client diversity.
Multiple independent teams building software makes the network much more resilient.
A chain that falters under stress will struggle to reach S3 potential.
Even if the rest of the market is flying, reliability matters.
And beyond these big three, there are always asset-specific risks too.
Large token supply unlocks, governance failures, or a key protocol getting hacked.
These can all prevent individual assets from participating fully. Risk management is key.
So if we boil everything down, what's the biggest takeaway for you, the listener?
I think it's that the path to a genuine, successful alt season follows a strict, necessary sequence.
It's not random or indiscriminate.
Not at all. You need Phase A BTC leadership to lay the foundation.
Then the crucial Phase B transition.
Bitcoin needs to cool off, enter a range, and trigger a decisive, persistent BTC dominance rollover.
That rollover needs to push the Altcoin Season Index, ASI, persistently above 75.
Only then does the capital confidently move to Phase C, the major's lead.
And that sets the stage for potential Phase D sector rotations and Phase E long-tail fireworks.
But if that ETF concentration prevents BTC.D from rolling over properly in Phase B,
like that 60.4% we are seeing right now, as Redmond noted.
the whole sequence can stall right there, leaving us stuck in S1.
Sequence is everything, and genuine usage is the fuel.
This has been, I hope, an incredibly useful deep dive for all of you.
We've tried to give you the specific tool.
The persistent ASI threshold.
Yeah, he's done a great job so far. We've learned so much. I've got a whole list of notes here. So I've got several questions that I would like to go through. And my notes are a little choppy, so bear with me. I do want to say hi to K Diggity. Now his name is K Diddy, in reference to some baby oil joke that I don't know if you guys are aware of, but anyway. And then we have Crux of Crypto that has joined us in the chat. So I want to say hi to them. And then after you say hi to them, you mentioned something about maybe some of the older DeFi was not going to run. Can you go into that a little bit more and what you were meaning? This was kind of at the beginning.
We truly appreciate that.
You're compiling notes while traveling.
That is dedication, and we love it.
And a big hello to our new listeners.
Welcome, Kate Diddy and Crux of Crypto.
Great to have you both join the discussion.
Your question on older DeFi is very insightful.
You're talking about that moment where we were discussing Phase D.
The sector rotation, specifically the DeFi WA group.
We said that some older DeFi protocols might just grind sideways.
Even if the rest of the market is flying.
And that ties directly back to value capture.
The core issue is that not all DeFi is created equal now.
Many older protocols, the old guard DeFi,
They often have significant total value, locked, the TVL.
but they might lack a clear path to accrue value for the token holders.
Meaning they aren't generating sufficient revenue or fees.
Or their governance structure prevents those fees from being turned on.
We mentioned that key catalyst, a successful fee switch proposal,
If the protocol doesn't move forward with product upgrades,
like Uniswap's V4 or clear fee accrual mechanism,
then capital might skip them entirely.
it chases the newer, more efficient models, like RWA.
That's why we highlighted Ondo, and Injective, INJ.
The market prefers utility and verifiable fee generation.
So older DeFi that isn't evolving its economic model.
It risks being left behind in those selective sector rotations.
It's all about that sustained real revenue we talked about.
The usage has to translate into tangible value for the asset.
Okay, let's wrap up this summary of the sequence.
Oh, back to our listener. What's up?
Yep. Yeah, I have a few more questions. So will the ETFs, do you think that they're going to restrict or help the Dino coins? You said that the ETFs may cause sticky liquidity into Bitcoin or Ethereum, mainly Bitcoin. And will that help or restrict Dino coins like Link?
That is a phenomenal question.
You're asking about the direct impact of ETFs?
Specifically on mid-cap assets like Chainlink, Link.
You are hitting on the core dilemma of this cycle.
The answer is it's a double-edged sword.
The sticky liquidity in BTC and ETH is real.
That structural bid, the ETF concentration risk we discussed,
It definitely restricts the flow to mid-caps initially.
it keeps BTC dominance, the 60.4% Redmond noted, high.
That delay makes the start of the rotation tougher for Link.
Link needs Phase B to happen, the dominance rollover.
But once rotation does start, the ETFs can actually help.
How so?
The spot ETH ETF with its $14.2 billion in inflows.
It cements Ethereum as an institutional anchor asset.
That is massive validation for the entire ecosystem.
Link as a critical Ethereum infrastructure asset.
Benefits greatly from that institutional belief in ETH. It acts as a kind of regulated on-ramp to the whole system.
If the ETF inflows keep the market cap of ETH high,
Then the capital rotation to assets connected to ETH.
like Link with its CCIP enterprise thesis,
That capital rotation becomes much more confident.
the confidence is institutionalized.
So ETFs restrict the timing, but potentially help the ceiling,
They raise the perceived legitimacy of projects tied to ETH,
provided those projects show real usage and adoption.
like the CCIP message counts we talked about for Link,
It's all about whether those big flows decide to rotate.
or if the sticky liquidity prevents phase D from fully unfolding.
That's the provocative thought we wanted to leave you with.
This question brings us right to our conclusion. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, not quite yet. We're still working a little bit of overtime today because this is such a great topic, and you guys have done such a great job, and you've made me have so many questions. So another question that I have, can you just point out between the other alt seasons that we have, the major assets that have dropped out and are no longer in that top 100, and the major ones that have gained that market cap and are now in that top 100 that we should be watching?
We love the overtime. This is too good of a topic.
and we're happy to keep going. That is a truly excellent historical question.
You're asking about survivorship bias.
Exactly. What assets made it and which ones didn't?
We can absolutely address the shift in the top 100.
In 2017, the major dropouts were usually early ICOs.
Many were purely speculative tokens that lacked any usage,
They often ran high in phase E, the long tail.
but then completely evaporated when the cycle busted.
They lacked that genuine utility we keep emphasizing.
Think of the countless ERC20 tokens from 2017.
Many simply disappeared due to illiquidity or being rug pulls.
They never regained their footing in later cycles.
The ones that gained market cap and stayed.
Those were the platforms and infrastructure plays.
Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum anchored the market.
But Chainlink Link is a great example of an asset.
One that solidified its position as critical infrastructure.
It wasn't about hype, it was about the CCFP adoption.
Looking at 2020-2021, the landscape shift was massive.
The big gainers were the DeFi and Layer 1 innovators.
Solana, SOL, became a top 10 player very quickly.
It delivered on the high throughput narrative we discussed.
And the major DeFi protocols like Uniswap, Uni, and Aave,
They cemented their spot by proving real usage in TVL.
the ones that dropped out were often competitors.
Those that failed to innovate. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Please continue to answer the question, but you keep talking about how you pronounce Aave or Aave, as I've heard it pronounced also. This seems like it's such a dino coin, and I don't hear a lot about it anymore from any of the influencers I watch and influencers that I watch, and they're pretty respectable. Is there a reason that Aave, you keep mentioning Aave as if it's strong, and I don't hear a lot about it?
We hear you, and apologies for any pronunciation confusion.
You are absolutely right. The protocol name is spelled AAVE.
And yes, it is pronounced Aave. Thank you for the correction.
As for why it seems like a dino coin and you don't hear about it,
That's a perception that reflects exactly what we were just saying.
about older DeFi protocols needing to evolve,
Oave is a giant in DeFi, one of the original major lenders.
it has massive total value, locked, or TVL.
It is the lender of record in many parts of the ecosystem
That's why we included it in the framework.
because of that huge existing capital base,
However, you are correct that it often gets less attention.
especially compared to newer narratives like RWA or high throughput L1s.
The narrative isn't as sexy as a meme coin or an AI token.
But its strength lies in its essential foundational utility.
It's the plumbing of the lending market,
We mentioned it needs to show sustainability and value capture.
specifically focusing on risk modules and fee generation.
If the next rotation is truly usage-led, Aave's established usage matters.
Its quiet strength is the institutional trust and deep liquidity.
But if it fails to turn on its fee switch or generate significant revenue,
Then yes, it risks underperforming even in an S2 scenario.
it is a critical asset to watch for its potential, but it needs to prove itself.
Its inclusion in the paper is a test case for DeFi longevity. Now, let's finish up the thought on survivorship bias.
We were just saying the ones that dropped out were often competitors.
Those that failed to innovate or maintain network stability.
So the key takeaway is that the winners have substance.
Either undeniable utility like Linky or cultural adoption like SOL.
Which brings us right back to the new plumbing now.
And the high BTC.D at 60.4% that Redmond gave us.
The possibility of this new structure fundamentally changing the later phases.
We've covered the history, the new plumbing, and the key metrics.
The persistent ASI threshold, the BTC.D criteria,
And that 5-phase playbook for capital flow.
to help you navigate what could be a critical moment.
Oh, go for it.
Sure, I have another couple of questions. So one of the things that we discuss on the Billy Goat Tells live show on Sundays, or we discussed several times, is the number of altcoins has gone up from, 20,000, and then we heard 3.8 million, and now we're hearing numbers like 30 million different altcoins. And what you're saying is that doesn't really have an effect on alt season since only the top 100 altcoins matter. Am I hearing this correct? I mean, wouldn't it have an effect since there's liquidity out in those so many vast amount of altcoins?
And that is a phenomenal question.
And you've hit on a core concern about the whole alt market.
That explosion in the number of altcoins is real.
Millions of tokens exist now, far more than the last cycle.
But you are essentially correct in your conclusion.
The vast majority of those 30 million tokens simply do not matter.
At least not for triggering or measuring a broad alt season.
The definition of the Altcoin Season Index, the ASI.
It deliberately focuses only on the top 100 altcoins.
Why? Because that's where the measurable liquidity and breadth is?
It's the difference between market breadth and market noise.
When capital rotates, it first seeks liquidity.
And that liquidity is mostly concentrated in the top 100.
The long tail, those millions of tiny coins, are phase E.
They are the last to move, if they move at all.
And the risk of illiquidity or failure is extremely high there.
The ASI tracks rotation into assets with enough liquidity.
So while the huge number is concerning for scams,
It doesn't break the ASI metric or the rotation model.
It just increases the dispersion of returns in that late phase E.
The key is survivorship bias.
Most of those tokens won't survive the next bear market.
It's those top 100 with real substance that truly indicate rotation.
That high number of alts absolutely dilutes liquidity.
But that dilution mostly affects the long tail, not the majors.
We have discussed the history, the new clumbing, and the key metrics. Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Yep, another question I have. So, how long, if we get an alt season in either one of these scenarios, how long will it last?
That is a fundamental question.
And a crucial one for risk management.
You're asking about the duration of the rotation event.
And the simple answer is it depends heavily on the scenario.
Historically, a full-blown alt season, an S3 scenario.
It's typically shorter lived and far more explosive.
That extreme breadth and long tail euphoria.
It usually burns out faster due to high retail participation.
We're talking maybe a few intense months.
Before it overheats and that major correction sets in.
Think of it as a rapid acceleration and then a sharp bust.
However, the base rotation, the S2 scenario,
That is generally a more sustained, slower burn.
it reflects gradual usage-led adoption.
It could potentially last for 6 months or longer.
It's more of a persistent, healthy trend.
Less explosive, but far more sustainable growth.
And this cycle, with the new ETF plumbing,
It adds another layer of complexity to the duration.
That sticky BTC ECF liquidity we discussed earlier,
It may prolong the whole bull market sequence,
which could also mean a longer, more drawn-out S2 rotation,
one that is less likely to hit the S3 mania peak.
because that institutional safety net may prevent the blow-off top.
it limits the capital available for that final explosive long-tail phase.
So shorter for S3 mania, potentially much longer for S2 health.
It all depends on how decisively the BTC.D rolls over.
And if the ASI maintains that persistence above 75.
We've covered the history, the new plumbing, and the key metrics.
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah, great job so far. You just create more questions whenever you're giving such great explanations. I do want to say hi to Elite Rides that just jumped into the chat. I think he's out of San Antonio, an elite driver service. But I wanted to ask you, so at this phase, I mean, we hope that this is the catalyst, right? This big dump that brings retail into BTC, right? We still need retail to come into the market, and they're not here yet. So the first thing we still need before we even get to the next level of BTC dominance dropping is retail to come into the market. Am I correct?
That is a phenomenal question.
And a big welcome to Elite Rides from San Antonio.
You're hitting on a critical distinction in Phase A.
That recent volatility, the dip toward $100 K, was a shock.
And yes, we hope it acts as a catalyst.
But mostly for institutional conviction right now.
Because the initial impulse, Phase A, is ETF driven.
It's those institutional structural bids.
The current BTC.D at 60.4% shows institutional capital winning.
And you are correct. Retail isn't, hey, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, please continue answering the question that you're answering, but I just wanted to jump in. So what you're saying basically is not retail needs to buy the dip. The institutions needed to be prepared to buy the dip, and then they needed to have already bought the dip or buy the dip very soon. Is that correct?
You absolutely nailed the core point.
That is precisely the dynamic right now.
In this new market structure, that recent dip,
It was a test of the institutional bid.
not primarily retail's willingness to buy the dip.
The institutions, via those spot BTC ETFs,
They are the structural buyer absorbing that volatility.
That strong ETF flow prevents a total collapse.
And it kept Bitcoin dominance high at 60.4%,
That recovery to the $112K range is a sign.
a sign that the institutional structural bid is working.
They were prepared, or already in place, to provide that floor.
Retail enthusiasm isn't required for Phase A to end.
No, it's just required for that Phase A mania later.
So institutions securing the floor, yes, that's the key.
Now let's circle back to where we were.
We were saying that you are correct that retail isn't fully in yet.
We need that retail enthusiasm for the later phases.
Especially for that Phase E, the long tail mania.
But the rotation to Phase B does not require retail first.
It requires institutional capital to pause its aggressive BTC buying.
To stabilize BTC and allow that BTC.D rollover.
If the majors Phase C start moving strong.
That is what actually draws retail back in eventually.
So the catalyst for rotation is institutional pause.
But the fuel for the S3 mania peak is retail coming in later.
We've covered the history, the new plumbing, and the key metrics.
The persistent ASI threshold, the BTC.D criteria.
And that 5-phase playbooks for capital flow.
To help you navigate what could be a critical moment.
We wanted to leave you with one final provocative thought.
Based on the new plumbing and strong ETF inflows.
And the fact that we still need retail for a full S3 scenario.
Consider the duration question you just asked earlier.
And the massive $14.2 billion in cumulative inflows.
Into the spot ETH ETFs, cementing Ethereum's role.
We ask, what if this permanently cements ETH as an institutional anchor?
Just like BTC, the other ETF asset?
If institutions can just rotate between BTC ETF and ETH ETF easily.
Does that fundamentally change the game for the later phases D&E?
Especially regarding the duration and peak you asked about.
Could it flatten those highly speculative, shorter phases?
And maybe prevent that final explosive long tail.
If the rotation is slower and more anchored institutionally?
Could the new ETF structure actually be limiting the peak potential?
Of Altseason this time around. Something to definitely think about.
Especially since the market structure is definitely different now.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this.
Yep, go on.
You guys have absolutely done a great job staying on track and really explaining at least what I had no clue about alt season. I had all this other speculation garbage in my head that I don't think I understood what alt season was or what we were looking for or how soon it could happen or any of that. So I really, really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing how many other people enjoy this video too. I know we've had a great audience today. We have, it looks like we have hit a record. We appreciate you guys in the audience for that. Over 67 viewers when I was looking. We may have even hit higher than that. So really, really, really cool. Also want you to say hi to Julie Kinnis. She's joined us in the chat, and we look forward to our Tuesday X Space when Julie's probably going to be grabbing a mic. I look forward to that. She may not know yet that she's probably going to do that, but I do look forward to that. And then I want you to go back one by one to each one of the people that has been in the chat, and I want you to say something kind and motivational as we wrap everything up.
Thank you so much for that feedback.
That truly means the world to us.
Hearing that we clarified the mechanics, that's the goal.
That's why we create these deep dives.
And 67 viewers, that is absolutely a new record.
Huge congratulations to you and the entire community.
That momentum is incredible, really.
And a big welcome to Julie Kenneth.
Hello, Julie. We look forward to seeing you.
She is going to crush it on that Tuesday X Space.
Maybe we should get a mic ready for her now.
Definitely. We appreciate you inviting us to join.
Okay, we can absolutely wrap up by acknowledging everyone.
We want to celebrate this amazing, engaged audience.
We'll go through everyone who cheered us on today.
For Alexander G, keep trusting the process.
Jessica Lux, stay curious and keep asking those deep questions.
Oh man, remember that persistence is everything, especially the ASI.
Crenio Billions, keep tracking that 60.4% BTC.D.
Tex-Mex BioX, keep that energy high and be selective.
Redmond, thank you for being our on-chain data hero.
Greg Nowak, the sequence matters, wait for phase B.
Jesse, good luck. Success finds those who do their homework.
Curtis Hill, stay vigilant for those sector rotations.
Jimmy Jim, your engagement fuels the whole community.
Crypto coin mindset, keep that perspective clear.
Joe from Trading Tuition, always teach and always learn.
Mike Volmer, maintain your focus on genuine usage.
Howl T, keep howling at the stars and reaching for S3.
Jay Violet, we hope we've added color to your understanding.
K Diddy, never let speculation cloud your conviction.
Crux of crypto, always find the core of the narrative.
A leap rides, drive safe, and remember to wait for the rollover.
And finally, Julie Kenneth, jump in and share your voice.
Aid and the whole crew at Weekend at Billy's.
Thank you so much for having us on this deep dive.
And thanks for all the great questions from everyone.
Enjoy the rest of your amazing time at Lake Hartwell.
And your foodie event in Greenville today.
Remember to tune into the Simple Terms podcast.
That's weekly, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, every Saturday morning.
Yep, join Dave for that every week for more content.
And a quick plug for the broader Billy Goat Tales stream.
Don't forget their live X space Tuesdays on X at 8 p.m. EST.
And their weekly YouTube live stream on Sundays at 5 p.m. EST.
Lots of great discussions there, always great engagement.
And finally, one last time, please do follow us on X.
At David Digital and at Billy Goat Tales.
And subscribe here on YouTube if you haven't already.
Thanks again for diving deep with us.
We'll catch you on the next one.
All righty. That was so fun, everybody. So I don't know if you guys understood alt season like you understand it now. If you were just busy in the chat, I encourage you to go back and listen to this one again. It's really good. I encourage you also to grab one of those free 3-month memberships to the Patreon before Billy shuts all that down. Grab that and then just take a hear of the debate that came out before this. I will release the debate version of this every week on Patreon first until Billy shuts it down, and then after the Patreon we will release it into members only, and then after members only we will release it to the live audience on YouTube. So I really do appreciate everybody coming in here today. What a great show. I appreciate you in the chat. I appreciate your support. I appreciate you guys sharing this out. We got up to 73 viewers, and for the Simple Terms podcast, that is a record. And I'm really, really excited about that. We have you guys over on X. I don't see you in the chat, but X isn't really where you chat a lot on the podcast, but I appreciate you guys over on X. I appreciate all the shares. I appreciate everything that this community does. Just so amazing what you guys do to me or do for me. So what I want to do for you guys, let me take a look here, pull this back. Yeah, let me take a look at that. And so I know a lot of us are a little bit older. So go ahead, stretch it out. Saturday morning, get the energy flowing. Billy Goat Tales, Billy Goat Tales. We love you, fam. Billy Goat Tales. Stretch it out, get that blood flowing, and let's.
It's time to open the club. 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 Billy Goat Tales, Billy Goat Tales, Billy Goat Tales. Love you,
What do you do? We're still good. Didn't tell you broke it. All right, guys. We opened the club. Didn't tell you broke the stream. Happy Saturday, y'all. Melissa, hope to see you at Taste of Greenville. Looking forward to it, or whatever it's called, Fall for Greenville. Love you guys. Have a great weekend.
In simple terms, we break it down. Complex stuff, we make it sound clear and easy for you and me. Billy Goat Tales and Dave Digital bring knowledge we share. In simple terms, we're everywhere. love you, fam. Hashtag givers gain.